it's the Shooting Guy. Thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate it. If you are a subscriber, thumbs up to you, because it's guys and gals like you that make me want to keep doing this kind of thing. And if you're just swinging by today and you happen to stumble upon this video, thank you so very much for stopping by. I know you could have gone anywhere, but you stopped by here and I do appreciate it. That means you probably enjoy things like this, and I hope so. Consider subscribing, would you? Pull the trigger on that subscribe button. We'd really love it if you did. Make some nice comments and give us a thumbs up and a like, would you? All right, thank you very much. Now, let's move right along. Hey, Shooting Guy, what do you have here today? Well, you know what? It's something that I've had in the Shooting Guy stable of goodies for quite some time, but I've never really done a review on it. I thought, why not? Let's go ahead and make a review on it. It is the Ontario Knife Company's SP8 Machete Survival. That's right, it's an SP8. I love this thing. Had it around for a while. See, I put a lanyard cord and, you know, what is that, 550 paracord. Put that stuff on there and strap it down. You're going to take a look at how we do that a little bit here. Let's pop this baby open. And boy, man, I love the sheath. I really do. It's got all the snaps and all that, but you're going to see in a moment, if you're not familiar with this knife, or machete, or survival club, whatever you want to call it, you'll see why in a minute, why it's got snaps like this. It does hold it in very nicely, and you really can't pull it out this way because of its unique shape. So we'll come back to the sheath in just a minute. Anyway, you can see I've got some wear on this baby, and I've used it a lot. It is one big chunk of steel. And you notice it doesn't have your typical point on the front of it. But that serves a wonderful purpose. Now, I've just recently put some edges on here, and if you stay tuned and you're a subscriber, in a little bit here, in a little short time, we'll have a video up of how we got this thing sharpened to the place that it is right now. But I won't talk about that today. I'll move on. Really nice knife. Nice machete, knife, axe, club, all of the above. It's absolutely terrific. Let's take a look at the specs just for a moment, shall we? Obviously, it's a fixed blade, plain edge. It's got a hardness rating of 53 to 58, which is pretty doggone hard. You know, the sheath here is made of Cordura and leather combination. Really nice sheath. The belt loop, I like this thing. Let's take a look at a picture of that D-ring. And what it does is it allows you to attach it to your belt and allows it to swivel quite freely so it doesn't bind up on you and tug on your pants. And then when you strap it down with your paracord, it's quite secure in the leg and on the hip. So I think you're going to enjoy that. And the snaps are very secure. I've used them a lot, and they stay snapped on. The edge on there is a flat ground, saber ground actually, because it doesn't go all the way. It's not full flat ground, but it is flat ground, so it allows for nice wedginess. Yet the top here stays very, very thick. Got a powder coat on there. It does wear fairly good. Now this has got a lot of miles on it, guys, so that's why it's kind of worn off a little bit. It's a carbon steel, 1095. That's why it needs that that powder finish on there, that powder coat. But when it gets worn off like this, you can either splash it with another powder coat if you want, or just keep it oiled down with some WD-40 and or some sort of mineral oil or something, or some sort of oil to keep it protected, because that is just raw carbon steel. Blade thickness, 0.26 inches. That's more than a 1/4 inch. Blade length, 10 inches. Overall length, 15 inches. Country of origin, USA. It's over 1.5 pounds. That's a heavy piece of steel. Nice lanyard hole, brass insert. It's got a grippy craton handle.
Nice.
So whether you're chopping,
Sharp.
batoning,
There we go.
feathering,
Rather easy. That chisel point.
this is going to do the job for you.
Ontario SP8.
Now it is a bit unusual. You guys, we talked about that a minute ago. You guys may be noticing there is no sharp point, although I would say I've sharpened this point and this rounded edge is very deadly, but there is a pretty good sharp point right there. You notice that there's this nice finger choil down in here, so you can get in a little bit more and get a little more aggressive angle, and it's still secure in the hand. When you're back here, very nice grip, and it keeps your hand from slipping off this way and up towards the blade this way. Certainly put on a lanyard like that and it's not going to come out of your hand. But you can see in some of this footage here, we're just wailing away and it does quite good. Let's get to the pros. Guys, gals, this thing is a beast. It's a meat cleaver, for heaven's sake. It does chop well. I will say as a pro, you don't have to worry so much about going through wood, branches and all that. This thing just chops things up just like if it was a meat cleaver in the kitchen, but instead of chopping through meat, which by the way it does chop through quite nicely, instead of chopping through meat, you can chop through wood really well.
Just use it like an axe.
1095 carbon steel. It is tough, guys. That 1095, I've enjoyed. I've got a couple of knives that have 1095. Holds an edge quite well, and it's a little tough to put an edge on there, but it's not so tough that it's going to wear things out of, wear your belts out or whatever you're using. But it does retain an edge quite good. So that 1095, I like it. It is thick. Like I mentioned before, it's a 1/4 inch thick piece of steel. It's not going to break, and I don't have to worry about it. I can wail away. I've got a couple of other knives that are about a 1/4 inch thick. This is a little over that, and I always feel good about just swinging this thing and not worrying about breaking it or bending it. That thing is not going to bend. It does come with this great sheath. Let's take a quick look at that. We've already looked at it a little bit, but Cordura with leather, and I love it. I love it, and it secures on quite well. Very durable sheath. It's not going to die on you. We talked about this before, that D-ring. I do like that because it does allow the whole thing to kind of swivel on your leg. I think you're going to like it too. All right, let's move on to the cons. One might consider a con here is that it is a bit heavy. 1.6 ounces is what it says. I've picked up a 2-pound weight and picked this thing up with the sheath, and I'd say it's pretty close to 2 pounds. So carrying this around all day may be a lot. However, I'm going to retract it as a con, because if you think about this, this is your hatchet, this is your wood preparation, this could be food preparation because of the wedge here. You could use that a little bit. It has a delicate edge. This may be the only thing you're carrying around. So rather than carrying a bunch of things, if you just carried this, maybe 2 pounds isn't so bad after all. I will say the edge, original edge on here was a little too broad, and it didn't provide the kind of cutting that I wanted. So I needed to reprofile the edge. Now you Ontario knife purists are going to go, oh man, you shouldn't have done that. But you know what? For my use, and again, I'm just talking about the way I use it, it became a lot more versatile after I reprofiled it. This thing had more than a 30-degree edge on it because of that thick piece of steel. It was probably closer to 35 degrees. Did I say inch? 35 degrees. This edge right now is at 30 degrees all the way around, and it does much better. Take a look at what I'm talking about.
Right through that. No problem whatsoever.
If you're wondering how I got that edge on there, I have found a very excellent way to sharpen knives and to reprofile edges. I'm not going to, like I mentioned before, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it right now, but if you subscribe, I guarantee you I'm going to have some footage of a knife sharpening capability that I think you are all going to enjoy, and it's very affordable, and it does an excellent job. Excellent job. Just with the rounded edge here, look how sharp this thing is. I'm just going to take a piece of, this is just a catalog, the weight of the blade, and I'm going to run it down. Just like that. I'm not pushing down, trust me. And look at that. Comes right off. That's sharp. That's sharp. The saw edge, moving on, is just okay. You know, it's kind of been worn down because we've done a lot of batoning on it, and I haven't really sharpened these teeth. But in a pinch, yes, you could use this as a saw. I would say, though, in most cases, just chop through it.
Use that weight to your advantage.
Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. Ontario Knife Company, SP8. If you're thinking it's kind of a weird looking knife, it kind of is, but let me tell you, it's pretty awesome. Very, very versatile. Love the sheath. Not going to say much more. Go out there and find yourself one. I'll put a link to where you can get one of these. How much are they? You can get this thing for under 50 bucks. And let me tell you, for an outdoors tool that you're going to use a lot of, you might even use it around the house in various ways, maybe gardening too, who knows. But for $50, you're not going to go wrong. This thing will last you a lifetime. Put a good edge on it. That video is coming up, by the way, how to put an edge. You're going to enjoy this. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time. God bless you. God bless America. And may America bless God. Yep, just got through putting a little bit of oil on there to protect it. And after all that thumping and beating, look at what it does to paper. That baby is sharp, folks.